We are so back, guys. We are so fucking back. So as of me recording this video, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is now open to people who have the early access to the game, and it will be out to the general public in 4 days, which is this Friday. Now, I believe that this game has the potential to be the greatest Dragon Ball game ever made. Unfortunately, I won't be able to play it for a while because I am a broke bitch. Unless there's so many sugar mommies or sugar daddies out there. No, I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. Or am I? Anyways though, this October is quite possibly one of the greatest months to be a Dragon Ball fan, because not only are we getting Sparking Zero, but on the same day we'll be getting the release of Dragon Ball Daima, which is the new anime series. So in the spirit of this amazing Dragon Ball season, I decided to make a follow-up video to my last Dragon Ball video. I was looking through the comments and I saw this one particular comment talking about how some people think that Piccolo is a better father than Goku. And it can kind of make sense, and it's another huge debate that a lot of Dragon Ball fans have been having, besides Goku being a bad father. So, I'm here to settle that debate once and for all. Get ready to rumble! So before I delve into the juicy bits of my conclusion to this argument, let's delve a little bit into Piccolo's history. And for the people who have not watched Dragon Ball, and there's probably like a handful of you out there, there will be some spoilers ahead. So Piccolo is first introduced to us near the final arc of the original Dragon Ball series. No, not this Piccolo, this Piccolo. This Piccolo is actually known as Piccolo Jr., since Goku fisted the original King Piccolo, which then led to the birth of Piccolo Jr. What? I'm technically not wrong. Anyways, Piccolo Jr., I'm just gonna call him Piccolo from now on, grows up seeking vengeance on Goku, and plans to continue his father's plan of world domination after killing Goku. We see a grown Piccolo during the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, where he's itching to finally have a chance to kill Goku. And after a climactic showdown, Piccolo is ultimately defeated, but spared, since Goku believes that he can be an even greater challenge, or perhaps an ally in the future. As we fast forward to the Saiyan saga in Dragon Ball Z, Piccolo temporarily allies himself with Goku in order to defeat an even greater threat, Raditz. Now, this is where Piccolo's big development arc starts, and this is where we can get to the juicy details of my argument. Piccolo goes through a more anti-hero kind of phase before going on to be a full-on hero. And currently, he is one of the Earth's most powerful protectors, especially with his significant power boost during the superhero movie. But let's see how he got there, and how he grows his relationship with Gohan. So, rewinding back to the Saiyan saga, Piccolo kills Goku and Raditz and learns that 2 more powerful Saiyans will arrive on Earth to claim the Dragon Balls in 1 year. During their battle with Raditz, Gohan displayed enormous potential by critically injuring Raditz, shocking both Goku and Piccolo. After the battle, Piccolo decides to kidnap Gohan to train him for the oncoming threat. Initially, he was going to use Gohan as his tool for world domination should they defeat Vegeta and Nappa. And his training is harsh and brutal, as he's seen throwing Gohan at mountains, leaving him to fend for himself, beating the shit out of him, and etc. But over the course of this year, Piccolo slowly starts to shift his view of Gohan. As I said before, Piccolo was going to use Gohan as a tool for his goal of world domination. But we slowly start to see him care for Gohan as the months passed. At first he would just leave him with nothing to fend for himself. But later on he clothes him, gives him a sword to at least help him defend himself, and later changes those clothes to the same ones as his, finally labeling Gohan as his student. After the year has passed, Piccolo finally does the most selfless act that he's ever committed in his life. He sacrifices himself for Gohan. Now, if Gohan truly hated Piccolo for kidnapping him, he would have said something like "good riddance" when he died, but instead he mourns his death. While Piccolo was on his dying breath, he finally admits that he really did care for Gohan, saying, "Gohan, you're the only person who's ever treated me like a friend. Gohan, thank you." Now remember, Gohan is 5 years old at this point, and Goku has been dead during the past year, so the only father figure he had to look up to during that time was Piccolo. And watching his second dad die in front of him really devastated him. This then leads to Gohan's journey into the Namek saga. Although Piccolo was absent during a large portion of this saga, he's been dead, one of Gohan's main motivations for going to Namek was to revive Piccolo using the Namekian Dragon Balls. Now people will ask, then why the fuck wasn't Goku there at the beginning? Well, you silly little goofball you, if you actually watch the Dragon Ball series, you'll know that Goku was heavily injured after his battle with Vegeta and Nappa. Well then, what about the Senzu Beans, you would ask? Well, conveniently enough, the next batch of Senzu Beans wouldn't be ready until after the rest of the Z Fighters left to go to Namek, so Goku had to be hospitalized in the meantime to recover. And no, they couldn't just wait for Goku since they were racing against the clock, since Frieza had gotten wind of the Dragon Balls and rushed to Namek already. Anyway, we now see Gohan has more resolve during the Namek saga. Even though he is still a little scared at some parts, he grows a pair and actively fights to defend Namek. Hell, one of his ballsiest moves was going up against Frieza, and he actually does pretty well for how weak he was too. Now, who do you think influenced Gohan to be more of a fighter? That's right, it was actually Piccolo. Later on in the saga, Team 3-Star manages to revive Piccolo and transports him to Namek. Piccolo actually manages to catch glimpses of Gohan fighting, and gains a newfound respect for him. But that's all there is to it. Now here's where a lot of people begin to say that Piccolo is a better father, the Android/Cell saga. During a lot of key moments in the Android saga, we see Piccolo's and Gohan's bond has deepened even further. They are no longer master and student, but rather family. Piccolo takes some time to train with him and gets an even better understanding of Gohan's character. Although he knew Gohan didn't like fighting, he now truly understood why. Gohan even turns to Piccolo for advice and mentoring since Goku is once again absent due to a heart disease. As we transition over to the Cell saga, we see how Gohan sees Piccolo as more than a mentor, as he asks Piccolo to give him the same gi that he's wearing over Goku's. As we move to the climactic battle, Piccolo becomes increasingly concerned with Goku's actions, especially when Goku sent out Gohan to fight Cell. While Goku believed that the means justified the end, Piccolo understood Gohan's feelings.
Goku, you're making a mistake. It doesn't matter how strong he isn't the fighter you are. Think about it, this grand strategy of yours. Does he even know what it is? Do you have any clue what's going on in his head right now? He's not angry, or playing for time. That boy is in greater agony than he has ever known in his entire life. And he's probably wondering why his father refuses to step in and save him. Open your eyes. Regardless of how strong he may or may not be, he's still a child you've left alone. So, screw this. I'm not just standing here.
From here, we know that Piccolo sees Gohan as somewhat like a son of his own. While Goku is petrified in thought, Piccolo gets ready to step in, even though he knows he won't stand a chance. Now, many people's arguments stem from how Gohan chose Piccolo's gi over Goku's, and how Piccolo was ready to step into battle faster than Goku. They also look at how deep their bond goes, which I will admit is a pretty good argument. However, I feel like they don't really take into account that Goku wasn't absent in his life by choice. Although being on Yardrat was a choice, most of the other times were out of his control. During the Saiyan saga, Goku had no choice but to wait the year to be revived with the Dragon Ball, since he knew he would need to train to even stand a chance against Vegeta and Nappa. After the Cell saga, Goku chose to stay dead when given the choice to be revived by the Namekian Dragon Balls. This was mainly due to the fact that he understood that most of the villains that Earth has encountered came because of him. Raditz came in search of Goku, which led to Vegeta and Nappa's arrival. Frieza came to Earth because he wanted revenge against Goku. Cell and the androids were created because Goku destroyed the Red Ribbon Army years ago. Every villain at that point came because of Goku. Now, as we move 7 years into the future and into the Buu saga, we see that Piccolo has retained his mentor role with Trunks and Goten. While he dedicates a lot of time to Trunks and Goten, he still has a deep relationship with Gohan, seeing as how he still wears Piccolo's gi. However, Gohan later changes his gi to that of Goku's to represent his father as the Earth's greatest defender. Piccolo states how much Gohan has grown up ever since he was a little boy, and shows an immense amount of pride in him. Now, there's not a whole lot to go further into within the Buu saga regarding their relationship, since, it's well known that Gohan views Piccolo as his second father. As we transition to Dragon Ball Super, We see that Piccolo often spends a lot of time with Gohan and his family, even spending a lot of time with Gohan's daughter, Pan. In the superhero movie, we see that Piccolo is now involved in training Pan, while also being a part of her daily life by picking her up from school often. Now, I'd like to point out that Gohan is a bit like Goku in the sense that he doesn't seem to spend too much time with Pan since he's caught up with his scholarly work. Piccolo even seems annoyed that Gohan's not the one usually picking up Pan. At this point though, Piccolo's now like the goofy uncle slash godfather to Pan, which shows how they are now officially a family at this point. Now, seeing how deep the bond between the two are, it's very easy to make the argument that Piccolo is a better father than Goku. The way I see it though, I think Goku and Piccolo fill each other's missing halves in terms of the fatherly role. Goku embodies the more compassionate, carefree, and loving side of a father, while Piccolo embodies the more responsible, serious, and wise side. Now, I'm not saying that these traits are mutually exclusive to each other, but they basically are experts in these traits. I believe that both have their faults when it comes to being a father, and they have to overcome many trials to grow their characters. I will admit Piccolo had a much greater trial since he did start off in the series as a heartless demon. However, I don't necessarily think that this means he is a better father than Goku. He simply makes up for the areas that Goku lacks in fatherhood, which makes them pretty equal. Piccolo is a wise mentor, kind of acting like a tsundere who wants the best for Gohan in terms of his dreams and goals, while Goku is a compassionate man who wants Gohan to be more responsible in being a protector. We must also remember that Goku isn't like your typical parent since his Saiyan nature gives him a very unique idea of fatherhood, which is raising your child through training and belief in one's strength. So my conclusion to this debate would be that neither are a better father over the other. In fact, in my last video, I did say that Goku's doing really well as a father despite his Saiyan heritage. I still believe they make up for the traits in each other that they lack in a good father. So if they were to fuse into Piccolo or Piccolo, honestly, I think they'd make the best father ever. Now, if any of you guys have a compelling argument against mine, I definitely want to see it in the comments below. I want to see what you guys have against my comment or what you guys have for my comment and see, where my conclusion stands around you all. Short ad segment. As of me recording this video, right now I have reached 3/4 of my yearly goal of reaching 100 subscribers, meaning I have now reached 75 subs. So to the guys who have subscribed to me since my last video, thank you so much once again. I am getting ever closer to my yearly goal. And for my side goal as well, I said that if I were to reach 151 subscribers before November, I would be recording a Nuzlocke of a Pokemon game that I've never played before. And if I don't reach that goal before November, that's okay. I will still make a Nuzlocke video, but it'll be for a Pokemon game that I've already played. Anyway, cringe advertising is over. I'll see you next time. So after I recorded this video, I recently found out that Doc Harris, the original English narrator for the Dragon Ball Z anime, has died. And I'd like to say that even though this is a sad moment, I'd like to try to be a little more positive in saying that he's now in the other world training with Toriyama for better parts in the future. And I would like to just say that he was huge person for me, especially for a lot of us in the anime community, because he has been a great voice actor to fans all over the world. But yeah, I'd like to pay my respects to him. He was a huge part of my childhood, and we will see you next time on Dragon Ball Z.